Hi everyone, I'm Victoria, and welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, I will be going over my goals for my career path, the progress I've made so far, and where I'm going. So first off, we'll start with my career plan and goals. This is more of my goals, less of actionable steps. We'll get into those later. I have two tracks that I've explored during my time at Vertical and my career journey. The first one is business. My dream for a very long time, even before Vertical, has always been to start my own business. I didn't really know what business I wanted to start. I just knew that I wanted to make things. And over the past couple years, I have developed a love for design, specifically dress design. So this semester I've been looking into starting that. The second path is cosmetology. I have always loved playing with my own hair, playing with other people's hair, doing intricate hair designs for my friends and family. But it was actually my mom who suggested that I look into cosmetology as a potential career path. I had never even thought of that before, but the more I looked into it, the more I felt like it was a good fit for me. Breaking both of those two overarching goals down a little bit into more manageable, bite-sized chunks. My short-term goals are to look for a job or an apprenticeship in one of my two fields of interest, either cosmetology or fashion. A major roadblock, though, on that path is my driver's license, which I have not been able to get yet. So that is my biggest goal this summer, is to overcome that roadblock. My third plan is to build my portfolio, especially for hair and especially for fashion. Having a portfolio of projects you've worked on before, of things that you have finished, will be critical in showing people that you are capable of what you are saying that you can do. This is my 1-year timeline on how I plan to get all of this done. So, my first three is continuing to network, continuing to find people who would be interested in hiring me for this. Applying for apprenticeships, for jobs, networking will be critical in that. Doing great. Continuing to network, continuing to conduct informational interviews. I already have a shadow day set up for June with a cosmetologist who will hopefully be able to help show me the ropes. The next two, 4 and 5, will be over next semester. Next semester, I want to continue to attend Vertical and dual enroll at a beauty school at the same time to help grow my skills. The last two will be my goals for when I graduate. Working in a hair salon, taking dress commissions, continuing to grow my portfolio, and hopefully move into dress and hair part-time for each. The first step to this is on my timeline is networking and building connections, continuing to have informational interviews over the summer. I've already had 2 with 2 lovely cosmetologists who were so gracious to give me some of their time, help confirm that this was definitely where I wanted to go, and helping me explore my career options. Which brings me to what are my plans for an apprenticeship. I've talked about confirming that this is the path that I want to go on. and that I want an apprenticeship, but where exactly am I going to go? So I've been looking for an apprenticeship or a job in one of my two areas of focus that I mentioned, either a hair salon or a bridal boutique. A hair salon, so I can learn a bit more about the function, how a salon functions, what the atmosphere is like, so that I can get comfortable in that environment for once I graduate beauty school, moving directly into that. Or a boutique where I can have more experience handling garments, seeing how they fit on a variety of people, a variety of body types. I have looked into a few options of exactly where I am going to go to look for these apprenticeships. None of the places that I've looked at so far actually offer an apprenticeship program, but I have looked at a variety of hair salons. Deweese is the one that I go to get my hair done, and I already have connections there. So it would be very easy for me to go there and say, hey, would you be willing to give me an opportunity? I have looked at a lot of bridal boutiques or formal dress boutiques here in town. Brides by Young is one, but there are so many, I'm curating a list. If all else fails and I am unable to get a job or a apprenticeship this year at one of my ideal locations, I have been offered a job at my local healthplex as a lifeguard, which will at least be able to give me some experience working to tide me over until I'm able to get an apprenticeship. Like I mentioned before, none of these places actually offer an apprenticeship program, so I would have to go and specifically ask them to make an exception for me. This is where a resume would come in critically important. Being able to know exactly what to highlight on my resume and my cover letter is incredibly important to show them how I can help their business grow and why they should consider giving me a opportunity. Now are my actionable steps for how I'm going to get all of this done in one summer. This is my 3-month plan for this coming summer. So like I said, my major roadblock right now on getting any of this done is getting my driver's license. So I have created a plan with my dad to go out driving 3 times a week so that I am able and ready to take the test by the fall, so that I, at the very latest, will have my driver's license by the start of next semester. To get an apprenticeship, I will continue to conduct informational interviews. I will continue to learn about my areas of focus. I will continue to grow my portfolio so that I am able and ready to move on to an apprenticeship at my earliest opportunity. For starting my business, I am going to continue to build my portfolio. I'm going to continue to practice. I'm going to continue to learn so that when I am able to start my business, I will be the strongest that I possibly can be in creating the highest quality products that I can. To continue to learn, which I've stressed so much, just because school is out does not mean I want to stop learning. Exactly the opposite. I'm going to take this time to focus in on areas where I feel like I am weak right now, specifically in regards to my business, textiles. Fabric is super important when you're choosing what garment you want to make, and so having a strong knowledge of that is important. So I will look into sewing camps, online courses, and I will be taking full advantage of free resources. If I follow this plan, I will have grown, not just in my career, but as a person as well. I will have more independence, I will have more confidence, and I'll have more knowledge moving forward. Thank you so much for your time. Okay. I
I have the misfortune and pleasure of going after Sophia, that amazing presentation. In my presentation, I'll be going over what my project specifications were for this capstone, the background and my background, the groundwork that I did for the project, the final result, of course, why I chose the career that I did, that inspired this project, and have a little surprise at the end. So first, let me tell you a story. It was evening, I was in bed, and I was mad. So I had been drawing a dress design. I've loved dress design ever since I was little, and I always wanted to go into fashion, but I had realized that the fashion industry was not the kind of atmosphere that I wanted to be in. Despite loving dress designing ever since I was little, I had never learned to sew at this point. And with all those roadblocks in my way, I could not draw what I had in my head, and it was incredibly frustrating. So I stormed out of my bedroom and I threw my notepad across the room, and I swore I would never make another dress design. And I didn't for several years. I did not make another design until I took on the challenge of designing my senior prom dress, which is the dress that I'm wearing in this picture. Yeah, I have always had a passion for beauty and a strong creative streak. So I knew that whatever career I went into, it would have to involve something creative. But I did not have a direction for that business idea until I decided to go into dress design. The first step to create this business was to create a online portfolio, which I decided would be on Instagram, since it is the most well-known and well-used platform. This capstone was incredibly convenient for me when I was told that this would be where I was going, because it was something that I was already planning on doing anyways. So I was tasked with building out an online portfolio, with building an online persona that I could then post and build out my portfolio on. Before I could make my first post, I had a lot of groundwork that I had to lay first. I needed to decide on what my goals for the account were, who my target audience would be, and what they would want, and what I would want, to make sure that everything that I posted on this account and the groundwork that I laid for this account would set me up the best that I possibly could for my success. And, of course, that I could help the people that I wanted to. So the start to that was to brainstorm and decide on what exactly I was posting in the first place. I decided that I would focus on introing my business and introing me beyond just follower counts or views, because I wanted to set myself up for success above trying to focus on a follower count. Because before I can gain followers, I need to make sure that I have the groundwork laid so I can build from those followers. Followers mean nothing if you don't have anything to go off of and to give them. So finally, I could post them. So, is the video going? Okay, it's going. So this is my Instagram profile with all the posts that I made on it. The first post is an intro to my business, my goal for my business, where I want it to go, so that anybody looking at my profile knows what I'm about. The second post shows a bit more about me and my personality, beyond just what I want to do professionally. The third post, I wanted to start sharing my portfolio. So this is my senior prom dress that I made in about 9 months, working on and off. And then this is the most recent dress I made. I did not design the silhouette of this one. It is inspired by a character from a TV show that I put a picture of at the end. I did draft the pattern for it, so it is all my work, but I did not create the original design for it. This one took me far less time. It took me about a week. This is a reel that I made highlighting the dress because I wanted to not only showcase what it looks like in pictures, but also how it moves, how it interacts with its environment. And thank you so much, Langdon, for helping me get some good footage of that. And then my plan for stories, this feature on Instagram, was to showcase what my process was, a bit more behind the scenes of my work and how I work and what my process is with everything. And then I saved it so that anybody looking at my profile can go back and see my past history of work. So that's my capstone. And then, this is the secret project I told you guys at the beginning. So this is my dress that I plan to make for over the summer. My summer project is this design that I created probably right after I finished my prom dress. After I finished that prom dress and after I got back into design, I started having very, very vivid dreams. And in these dreams, a gown or a dress would be the center focus of the dream, with details so intricate and so vivid that I remembered these details even after I woke up. And I got into the habit of drawing them out and writing down all of the details so that I would not forget anything in the future. And so now I have a large queue of dresses that I'm going to make, and this is one of the first ones. It is a light pink and coral dress in just the absolute flowiest dress that you can imagine. I did watercolor this a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of my very first dream dresses. I have such a love and a passion for creation, and I hope that I was able to share even a fraction of that excitement with you all. I do have time for questions, so who wants to ask the first one?
How did you decide on which dress to do first from your dream booklet?
How to decide which dress? Honestly, it was excitement. What made me the most excited? I have been very excited to make this dress for a while, but it is a big dress. It has a lot of fabric, which means a lot of money, and I do not have any funding for this. But my friend Anna gifted me actually the exact fabric that I was thinking of using for this dress. She gifted me a lot of it. So that was the first step to being able to create this dress a reality.
I have a question. So when it came to your decision to jump into that senior project, making your own prom dress, what was the mindset shift from I will never pick this back up again because I just can't do it right the first time to I'm going to try again and nothing's gonna stop me?
It was a very long process. There was probably about 5 or 6 years in between that I'm going to quit and the decision to start back up with that. That dress that I created was inspired by a book, and again, I had such a vivid idea of what this dress looked like when I was reading this book and the description that I wanted to bring it alive. And at that point, I had finally learned how to sew. So I felt a bit more confident that I would be able to do it. it was a very slow process between I'm going to quit and I'm going to try again. I'm not sure entirely what the switch that flipped in my brain, like when that happened, because it was such a slow process. But I think I just needed a break, and my passion came back when it did. Last one, really quick. Decide.
What else have you made?
What else have I made? So the 2 dresses that I showed. I have made 2 circle skirts, very long, all the way to the floor. I wore one yesterday, but it was stained, so I didn't wear it again today. I made a red vest out of some old corduroy pants that used to be my mom's, and then I made this vest that I'm wearing today. I think that's all that I've made. Thank you so much.